React compiler is probably the most exciting upcoming feature within the React world. For years, people have been debating where and how often they should use the React memoization features. One of the answers has been everywhere and at all times. Why not memoize everything? And this is where the React compiler comes in. It automatically memoizes everything that it can, but it does more. As we will see, it memoizes some things more efficiently than memo, useMemo or useCallback do. Let's start off with an example. When you have a component tree and the parent component re-renders, we know that all child components also re-render. But if their props don't change, why should they? Usually, if you want to avoid that situation, you have to wrap the components in the memo function, but now, with React compiler, you don't have to do that anymore. It is important to realize that the act of memoization itself comes at a cost. If a memoized component has many props, React has to compare all of them to determine if a re-render is necessary. But this comparison cost is often lower than the cost of re-rendering. Let's move on to hooks. Have you ever found yourself writing useMemo or useCallback and wondering why you need to do that manually? Shouldn't there be a way to somehow do that automatically? Turns out that there is, and the React compiler makes use of that. It gives you fine-grained reactivity by ensuring that only the relevant parts of your application re-render as state changes. However, these optimizations rely on three assumptions about your code. The first one is that your code is valid JavaScript, which shouldn't be too surprising. The second assumption is that you test if values and properties are defined before you access them. Once again, not too surprising. The third is that your code follows the rules of React, which are rules like calling hooks only at the top level and so on. This might sound like a lot, but most applications, especially those using linters and TypeScript, should satisfy all of these assumptions. This means that you might not need to rewrite anything to take advantage of the React compiler. But if you happen to break some of these rules, there is no need to panic. There is a good chance that the compiler will detect that and safely skip compilation for the corresponding component. This reduces the risk of unexpected behavior. At the top of that, there is a new ESLint plugin that will show you the errors, and we will look into that later. Now let's talk about the compilation itself. Consider this situation. We have a list of movies and a person, and we want to find the favorite movies of that person. The function findFavoriteMovies does just that, and by default it runs each time the component is rendered. To optimize this, we would typically wrap the function in a useMemo call with movies and person as dependencies. But with React compiler, we don't need to do that anymore. So what exactly does the compiler do in this case? It doesn't use useMemo or useCallback at all. Instead, the compiler manually caches the values and reuses them if dependencies stay the same. In our example, it will first obtain a cache with a predetermined size. It calculates this size during compilation, and in our case, the cache will contain three items: the movies, the person, and the computed favorite movies. It will then create a temporary variable and check if either movies or person have changed. If so, it will recalculate favorite movies, store them in the temporary variable and cache everything. The compiler doesn't need to check favorite movies because it understands it is a computed value. If neither movies or person changed, the cached favorite movies can be reused. After all that, it will assign favorite movies to the temporary variable. The React team has also published the React compiler playground, where you can see this for yourself. If we enter the same code and assume that both movies and person are provided as props, we can see that this part is exactly the same. The names are slightly different, but we can see that it first obtains the cache using _c and stores it as a $. It then creates a temporary variable and performs the checks just like in our case. This is how React compiler replaces useMemo, but what we see down here is how it replaces the memo function. It does that by memoizing the output of the component. Since the output depends only on favorite movies, if they differ from the cached value, the output is recalculated and cached. And if the favorite movies stay the same, the cached value is reused. If we check how the output of the compiler looks like for a component with a single child that doesn't have any props, we can see it is using a symbol. What this does is that it memoizes the output once and then reuses it forever, since the value of the symbol is always the same. Earlier I said that in some cases React compiler memoizes things even more efficiently than useMemo or useCallback do. Consider this example. We have a text variable and create another one that just duplicates it. If we look at the output, we can see the compiler put the result directly into our JSX. And this is quite interesting. With useMemo, this would never happen, as useMemo would call a function that would concatenate the strings, and it would call that function at least once. You can play with this and see what happens when you implement some more complex logic. Try using different hooks like useState, useEffect, useCallback, and so on. We have seen what React compiler does behind the scenes. Based on that, you might think that we don't have to do any manual memoization at all now. But that is not the case. Consider a really expensive function that you reuse across components. React compiler can memoize that function within each of the components, but you could go a step further and memoize it across the application. So in this case, it can make a lot of sense to implement your own memoization outside of React. But is there a reason to use the existing useMemo or useCallback hooks? The current recommendation is that after you start using the compiler, you can start omitting them. The compiler will also compile existing manually memoized code, and it will check that the memoization is exactly the same. This means that if you have some hacky code centered around useMemo, it should still work after being compiled. So, in terms of the existing code, it is up to you. Keep in mind that there will probably be more information about this as the development of the compiler continues. Let's move on to how you can use the React compiler yourself. You can start by checking how much of your codebase is compatible by running this script. It will print the number of components that can be optimized, and it will also print some well-known incompatible libraries like mobx. I ran it for one of my projects and this was the output. Looks good to me. If you want to use the compiler, you need to upgrade to React 19 RC. This is the release candidate version that includes features like actions and the use optimistic hook, but it also supports the compiler. After that, you need to install a Babel plugin that will make React compiler part of the compilation process. After you add that to the list of Babel plugins, you should be all set. We can check that our components are being compiled by heading over to the React DevTools and hovering over the components. We can see a little star with the text that this component has been auto-memoized by the React compiler. Also, if for any reason you don't want to compile some specific components, it is possible to disable the compilation by using the use no memo directive. You can see the star has disappeared. It is also possible to enable compilation only for files with specific prefixes, or only for some directories. Let's talk about the ESLint plugin now. After you install the plugin, it will display any violations of the React rules that the compiler has detected. In this example, I am trying to mutate props and I am getting this error from the compiler. If you see any errors like this, it means that the compiler will skip this component and it will just move on to something else. Also, with the use no memo directive, the checks will be disabled. Even though React compiler is experimental and not fully ready for production, it has been used at Meta and some of their apps have seen performance gains. I have installed the compiler in one of my bigger projects and I haven't encountered a single problem. This will probably be the case for many of you, since one of the goals of the compiler is to ensure a seamless transition for a typical React developer. The compiler will not be part of React 19, but hopefully it will be released soon enough. One of my favorite ways to think about the React compiler is this grid. With manual memoization, the user experience is great, but the developer experience suffers, since you have to use the hooks in quite a few places. Without memoization, the developer experience is better, but the user experience isn't great. React compiler brings together the best of the two worlds, which is quite incredible. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching.